Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, Miraculous Ladybug, Star Wars Rebels, and RWBY. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Sam Quattro
Hello.
and Delaney Stovall.
Hello.
Today, Sam, Delaney, and I will be discussing the latest episode of Steven Universe, log date 7152. Um, it is, and it is also our 100th podcast. Yay! Congrats! Yeah, you can check out
Yay.
all of our previous 99 podcasts on overlyanimated.com. And we cover Steven Universe every time it airs here on the Overly Animated Podcast. Let's get right into log date 7152, and storyboarded and written by Lauren Hillary. Sam, what did you think?
I really liked it. I thought it was really cute. I liked spending that time with Peridot. Um, I don't know. It was just I like flashback episodes, and this was like not as like flashbacky as the other ones, but like I liked it. I liked the framing device. I thought it was cute, and I laughed a lot, and it was great. And the Camp Pine Hearts, that was wonderful.
Delaney, what did you think?
Basically everything Sam said, and we've been talking about so we already had the mid-season finale, whatever this episode's gonna be. I thought this episode was great. Like Peridot is just a treasure always, and then I'm glad that we're still doing things with Peridot and that we're not just gonna give up on Peridot just because she saved. Well, she didn't really save anyone, but she didn't rat them all out. She tried, and so she. I'm just not over Peridot watching that show, and her first immediate thing to do is to have a slash ship, and it's incredible. Peridot, I love you so
Percy
much.
and Pierre.
So great.
OTP.
And it's just, and the framing device is excellent, and who was gonna figure out the Peridot and Garnet thing? Who was gonna figure that one out? And that was awesome, completely unexpected, because everyone, mainly on Tumblr, has been about Peridot and Amethyst, and this is just excellent. This episode was just awesome.
Yeah, I also really like this one. I think this is much needed after kind of two stuff to the brim episodes with plot stuff, especially the second to previous one. It's a really weird choice to flashback to the four previous episodes. After we could have just had this episode 3 episodes ago.
This could be a fanfic.
Yeah.
This is basically a fanfic, right? Peridot shipping stuff. Yeah, it's great. But yeah, no, I really like this one, to an extent where I think it's kind of better than the previous two, which were the mid-season finale. I think this was just stronger character-wise, stronger narrative-wise. I mean, this is an easier one to make, but yeah, it was great. I love everything they've done with Peridot. Peridot's the character of the year last year and is continuing to be the character of the year now. Camp Pining Hearts, yeah, all of that was great. And I don't know. It was also just a ton of stuff. I really appreciate that even on the light episodes, I just had trouble keeping up with how much was going on in terms of outlining it. So hopefully I have it all down, and let's talk about it. So what do we think this accomplishes character wise for Peridot here? Because what's interesting about this is okay, how is Peridot going to react now that she's a crystal gem, right? So I think the natural question would be that's how would be that after the events of last episode? But how does this episode does that answer this question? Is it just a light episode? Is it furthering to serve Peridot's character regardless of whether it's the previous 4 days in the past as opposed to current?
Well, it settles her in. Settles her into her new role to us. And I think that's a really important step to take, even though we all yesterday's episode felt completely natural, but we did need to have this moment of kind of settling in. And also Peridot, it's still crazy and she's still Peridot, which is even though it was mainly done through flashbacks, so not only does this episode build upon relationships that might have been a little bit doubtful before, does Peridot really fit in? But what this episode does is it also establishes how we will move forward, and how this isn't just Peridot and she threw off her connection to Homeworld, but this episode also establishes Peridot she is a crystal gem, and she does fit in, even though everyone's still a little rocky. She does fit in, and she does have these relationships with the other gems. And then we have those moments outside of the flashbacks where Peridot's oh my god, this is crazy, and I don't really know what I'm doing, and it all just makes sense, and it's a very, very good It's kind of a resolution episode. Like this is the resolution of the climax of Peridot, yelling at Yellow Diamond. So I think it like works very naturally here, and it's perfect like settle down episode for Peridot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little hard to try to. I think that obviously they think it's serving some sort of role like that, right? Because they're consciously putting this after the mid-season finale. I mean, it's clearly just the next episode, just references the other one at the end. But but like it's a little bit of a hard dynamic to wrap your head around because like it's satisfying a certain thing to the audience, but while narratively not kind of doing that same type of thing because we're seeing events from before that happen.
It was explaining things that happened off screen, which is always risky when we're dealing with a show, is explaining things off screen. And you always are very much like you want this explicitly on screen, you want to see it, you want to be told about it, you want to know. But I do think in this case, like these flashbacks work in a very not irritating way that a lot of times flashbacks can do, especially if you have a lot of them, because we had a large number of flashbacks. But like Simon said, like I do think this like how it is framed in the narrative like really sells it.
Maybe this is necessary because of Steven's reaction last episode a little bit, like to get us back to a state where he like loves Peridot and stuff. Even though he did at the end of last episode, he was just very upset. So maybe it's like the framing is Steven listening to the events of the previous 4 days. So maybe it's like something we need for Steven. In that point, this also is weird because it like serves as the Garnet field trip episode that we like didn't get like at the time. Like we had our Pearl and then our Amethyst one before the hiatus, and it's like this one you feel like it could have been in it's like natural. You would think this naturally would be when would be like Tuesday's episode or something, but it's just interesting placement there here, and it does it and like I think we can totally like develop Peridot more even if we already had the big thing happen with her character. I wonder whether this episode would have, I mean, it's natural to question, would this episode have further helped to serve like the drama behind Peridot's decision last episode? Would it have been too obvious that she was gonna, protect the Earth that she's been learning about so much, like that we'd seen here?
Well, I think this is more of a stepping stone episode. Like this is a settle down, but also a stepping stone for what we're going to see in a way that like connects. Because if we'd gone, let's say the next episode, it just Crystal Gym shenanigans and like everyone's getting along, and that would be very weird to have. Like we need this episode to build up and it is very risky. And when you have things like this that are off screen, and for the most part, it's been Steven protecting Peridot from the crystal gems, but now we're seeing that they are interacting and they are like trying, but on both sides. And I do think this is a point like this will allow us to move a little bit further without having to have like more episodes like this where we are going to have more episodes like this, more settling down and like having Peridot like figure out how to be a crystal gem and how to interact with everyone else. But this can help us like we're not stuck in a place anymore. Like we can move a little bit more, and Peridot can like they can go on missions, and Peridot can like that kind of thing. Like
Yeah,
building up that.
I think that the biggest like structure purpose for this is that like we need to be able to move the focus away from Peridot now, yeah. And this like gets us to a point where she can just be a normal person with the group, I guess. And I guess that's necessary. I think their thinking is like you need to have that, and there needs to be an intermediary between the big events of the mid-season finale and what's can happen next.
It's like Zuko's field trips.
Yeah, but
Avatar,
yeah, it's like that, but like those were all sequential and stuff like that, yeah. Right? So I guess that's the thinking behind it is like we need the buffer episode, but we need to move on from Peridot here. The worry would be that this would have helped make Peridot's actions last episode more believable. I mean, that was already an incredibly risky plot arc they did. If you heard last podcast, I think that was kind of brilliant the way they resolved that. So I guess it couldn't have been better because it was like really good, but.
The trick wouldn't have been there though. The twist. Because the episode like presents it in the beginning as, oh my God, Peridot's gonna betray everyone. Like that was there, and it would have completely changed the framing of the episode.
A little bit. I mean, so when the beginning of Wednesday's episode had Peridot and Steven, like Steven teaching Peridot about music, and I think that's very similar. That could have been stuck in this episode. Like I think it's all kind of similar stuff. So I don't know if it like would have given away what's going to happen. It would have certainly it might have lessened the suspense, I guess.
Well, it would have completely taken away like the whole like chase scene. Like I think that part is really important for like the framing of that episode and how that functions and the brilliance of what Peridot
I do
ultimately
wonder
does.
how that would have played with this inserted into Tuesday's slot. I think it still would have been suspenseful because like the draw that episode did convince us very well that like Peridot is still made to serve Yellow Diamond and stuff like that. I still think it would have worked very similarly. So I guess that there was I wonder how they come to a narrative decision like this. Anyway, let's talk specifics of this.
Good, because I wasn't paying attention to any of that.
Wow, I'm glad, Sam. Sam, what was your favorite stuff from this episode?
Well, the Camp Pining Heart stuff was really funny. Let's see what else happened during.
What did you think of? Let's talk about that. So Peridot getting introduced to like entertainment at all, I guess, and then she watched the same episode for days, and then she comes up with an analysis, CPHN analysis.
Peridot.
It's just the 70 hours, and then you've been watching the same episode. I was just done.
The superior pair of Pierre and Percy. I think you called this a slash ship before. Wasn't this male female though?
Delaney did
yeah.
that. No, it's Percy and what's her face.
No, I thought it was.
I thought it was male. I thought Pierre was male. I'm not sure.
I thought it was male. I mean, just based on the names. I don't know the name.
The big shrug.
I think it was male female. I don't know. Anyway, this is what I like that it is basically irrelevant. I mean, Peridot would not have the preconceived notion on that. Certainly,
it's
like it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, it's subtext even, says Peridot. Do we think that? Okay, here's a big question. Is this episode
is it? But I thought the point of the episode was that not the point of the point of this this little segment of the episode was that she didn't ship like whatever happened on screen.
Yeah, it didn't seem like she was shipping something that happened on screen.
Which is why I thought it was male.
Yeah.
They showed us the characters. It's just we watched this right after it aired, so I'm unsure.
We didn't see Pierre though. So
I thought we saw both. Oh,
no, we didn't.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
They showed us the thing on screen, and that wasn't
male.
necessarily them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's not their ship. Like
those are both.
Says it's Percy and Pierre.
Percy could be female. I don't know.
Percy
I know,
is the guy that we saw.
I came up to me as.
Okay.
Who cares?
That's interesting. Peridot. Okay, that's funny. You're Peridot shipping.
So that's why I thought it was a male ship.
I guess that makes
because Steven says like whoever it is on screen because he's like, but this though, and then that's when Peridot sits him down and is like, now wait up, like this is what's going on.
Peridot writing an AO3 fic, right? About them.
Captain of the ship.
Yeah, definitely another ship. It's the strongest battle formation.
It's so
yep.
Like Peridot is literally Tumblr. Like that's this.
Dude, okay. Here's the thing. Here's the danger of this. Do we think that this is like too kind of like meta or like
too like wink wink?
Too like wink wink? Yeah.
I like it.
I mean, obviously we're gonna love it because it's us, but like,
well, it's because it's also Peridot, which makes it like so much better.
I feel like this almost like if we're gonna analyze it, like watching it, I loved it, but now if we're gonna analyze it, it's like this. I don't think this makes sense that Peridot would do this. Like, I don't think that makes logical sense.
Well, no, it does make sense because Peridot is like over and over again, like you do something for Peridot, and Peridot is, oh my god, I hate you, go away. But then like Peridot,
that part I think is I can buy her watching the show like this. That I can buy.
Well, thinking about the way she analyzed the music, like this makes sense that she would like, okay, because she literally watched one episode and clearly, I mean, not clearly, but it's probably a shipping episode, like based on like the half a second we saw of the episode. It's also
called Pine Hearts, right? So, yeah.
So like it would make sense that Peridot would do this, like, and I think it's even funnier that it's based off of one episode because that's even more Peridot.
Also, they're Canadian; they have a poutine,
and it's green, which again confirms alternate Earth.
Yeah, obviously it confirmed from that one detail. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we saw Opal again, which was
we
nice.
saw Opal. Yeah,
I like seeing Opal.
That was that the first time since we got introduced to her? Or has she been in since?
No, she was what was the one, the return, whichever one before Jailbreak.
Okay. Yeah.
Where like they all come and like they're fighting and stuff.
That makes sense. Yeah, the return. Yeah. What do we think of seeing Opal again?
I like
Very
her.
Excited.
I feel like it would make more sense to see Opal more often because Pearl and Garnet seem fairly open. So, like, we don't run into the problems we had with the last Steven bomb, right, or anything like that.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
But it was Pearl and Amethyst.
For Amethyst, that's what I meant.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute.
I think the show is a little, I don't know. It's interesting how we use the fusion characters of them. I wasn't the biggest fan when they're all introduced, from like a character perspective.
I'm all about them.
I love the stuff we get with Garnet and Peridot later in the episode, obviously, because this is the field trip that we needed for with Garnet.
Life-changing field trip with Peridot.
And they try the fusion dance, and they don't do it. Everyone was like,
when I feel so cheated, but it was so right.
Are we gonna see Jade tonight? And then everyone was like, there's like a fake spoiler with Jade credits, and it was like obviously fake, but and so it was like, wow,
it's like that Aang is a Mon thing back in the day.
It's wow, is that actually gonna happen? And then no, it didn't happen. How long till we see Peridot fused with someone?
Next episode.
I mean, there's a spoiler thing that maybe those two from the thing Cartoon Network inadvertently showed.
Meh.
What do we think?
I feel a little cheated, but it also was good. I don't know.
I think that
they teased me.
Yeah, I mean, I think these interactions were very good. Like, I love if there is any amount of unbelievability to Peridot shipping things, then it's like there's completely none of that in terms of Garnet's interactions with Peridot, which she's like surprisingly patient with her. Garnet, I mean, she's always really nice, but I don't know. I feel like I would have been tested more than Garnet seemed to be, and teaching her subtly about fusion and stuff like that. It was all really good.
Just awesome. It's fantastic.
What else do we have? We had Peridot with the joke and the chicken, and then now she's like, yeah, now I understand the joke.
I enjoyed that like continued. Like that was great.
Yeah.
Like it was a really good one.
I think out of all the jokes, that's the worst joke ever.
That's the worst joke ever.
Yeah, probably. I mean, why did the chicken cross the road to get to the other side? The chicken crossed the road to die. Great. Wonderful. That's what the other side is. It's double meaning.
Okay, we don't need to analyze the chicken cross.
I do. Like, I don't know why they would think it was funny.
We can't analyze Amethyst turning into the chicken. And I like how that's paired to Peridot. Like Peridot, like we're like filling in the gaps here. Peridot learning why Amethyst, shapeshifts a lot, right? And that's something she wouldn't understand. She wouldn't understand the fusion. We talk about that.
The lion puns were atrocious.
They're definitely necessary. Yeah.
Atrocious. I don't know how Lion feels about Amethyst turning into Lion. Like, I want to know what.
How sentient is Lion? That is my question.
I mean, he's a sentient being. Like, self-aware, you mean? Like,
how sapient is Lion?
Okay, that's better. Yeah. That's a better word.
I mean, people use those words differently.
Well, they
interchangeably to a certain.
They shouldn't.
We need to resolve the Lion twist, as Delaney and I discussed yesterday. What is Lion? Tell us.
Explain Lion.
There's this fan comic on Tumblr. It's like a year or two old by now, but the theory is that like he is the baby of like a dead lion that Rose found once, and she like magicked him up, and yeah.
I keep seeing the lion is like bismuth, and like that was like half of the Rose part of the pink diamond. And I also saw a different thing. I also saw a different thing with bismuth on Tumblr today too. It's like a completely separate theory. Like it was pretty.
I second Sam's bismuth.
Anyway,
second that.
There's so much speculation with this. Anyway,
how would he be bismuth?
Like I could see him being like a part of a gem or something. I don't. He's definitely something. Like.
He's a magical lion. There is something going on.
There's something going on there.
Why can't he just be a magical lion?
Because that doesn't make sense, obviously.
I mean...
Well, he's pink, and he only shows up when there's important stuff going on, so clearly we're leading into something.
What do we think Steven giving Peridot the fake stilts to walk on? Like
amazing. And also Flames,
wow,
he's right.
Thanks.
Flames makes everything better.
Yeah, Steven, yeah. Wow, thank. Yeah, what do you think of wow?
That was so good.
I loved it.
Yeah, that was good. Did that make sense? Like, was Peridot like aware of how she was saying it?
That was so
What was the logic behind that? Is Peridot like aware that she's like ironically using that in a different tone?
I don't know.
That's what I don't understand about that.
It doesn't matter. It's just hilarious regardless.
I mean, it definitely was, yeah.
So good.
I think the show's gotten some of its most successful humor, like from this episode, from Too Far, and maybe from the Barn episode before it, all from like Peridot jokes. Like Peridot
Peridot is the perfect vehicle for so much humor, and it's incredible.
Yeah. Let's go through. I like the uh, Garnet or Steven. Yeah, Garnet pronouncing the log dates like how they actually should be with two numbers in the middle, and then Peridot correcting her because like everyone's confused, but like it's the two numbers in the middle are the day, and
Yeah.
Peridot just doesn't pronounce them together. Yeah.
So are we in July? Or are we in December?
Yeah.
Or are we
Well,
in February?
7152. I mean, I don't know if Peridot would have the same calendar scheme.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like it's
Shrug.
just she just increases the number.
Especially like the episode title, like the space, like because when I saw the title, I was like, oh, it's July, and then I was like, oh, wait a minute, I don't know because
I don't know. Let's go through what Peridot in the beginning freaking out. Oh, we didn't even mention what I think is like the best line in the history of the show. But let's get there. Peridot thinking it's like Peridot's voicemail, I'm a traitor's Claude, and then playing that over and over. I called Yellow Diamond a Claude right to her face. Yeah, you did do that. It's all gonna work out. You're with us now. I'm protecting a planet I was once trying to destroy. Now I'm a traitor, a rebel, a crystal gem with the stars in the eyes, which is great.
it was great. It
I love
was.
her.
The tape recorder is a
Wait,
chronicle
now I know. Now I know. We're almost there. I know what your line is.
of her descent into madness. Give it to Stephen. Return madness to its source. What do we think of? Okay. First of all, Garnet carrying Peridot out was like
Aw.
it's just so funny because like it's just constantly how small Peridot is, and like she
Yeah.
literally picks Peridot up like a kid, and it's so good.
okay. Let me spend like a minute talking about. So, am I gonna have to wear a star? Where am I gonna put the star?
It was
Which
pretty.
That's
okay,
a good question.
an essay by Dylan on why this line is great. So first of all, it's like self-aware and hilarious of the fact that all the gems are like designed with stars. But it's like that, and it's like the best self-aware joke ever because it makes complete sense in the situation with Peridot's character. Peridot attributes like structure and like purpose to things. So she's like, okay, these are the crystal gems. They have stars. Now I'm with them. Now I'm gonna have to have a star on me, right? It's like I think it just makes complete sense with her worldview. And like those are the best self-aware jokes that they're not like that
Like,
they also
works.
work with characters. So I'm declaring that this is the best line in show history.
I agree. I had almost forgotten, and then it was like, and now I know exactly which line
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
because
it
it's
was the
flawless.
best. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
like,
laughed. That
is
was,
she
like,
gonna
the
be in the
first I
intro
laughed out loud.
now? Like,
Yeah, where is she in the intro and
Where
where's
is she?
her star? I mean, let's be real.
where would she put her star?
Even
Like,
though I knew
anywhere.
it wasn't gonna happen, I was like watching the intro, like please be in
So,
the intro.
so like it wasn't. Yeah, we knew it wasn't gonna be in joke. It was like the beginning of the episodes. Like,
Are
but, like,
Amethyst's stars still on her knees?
they're on her knees. Yeah.
I don't even remember anything.
Yeah, I didn't even pay. I don't. I was like, when I first heard that, I was like, oh yeah, I should pay attention to this again, where people's stars are. But, they could change the intro randomly because the last time they changed the intro like wasn't at a point that you would expect. So like
Yeah.
it could just be when the
Yeah,
the
but
next
like it's not gonna fit into the song with Garnet,
We are the
Amethyst,
crystal clouds.
Peridot.
I was talking to one of you about this, but Archer did this when
You're
they.
talking. We
yeah.
literally had this conversation.
Okay, yeah, we literally had, so let's recount a conversation. Archer added oh man, the what's his face to the main cast. Like that doesn't have a song that they sing, but like their intro music is like a certain length. So like the show creator like went to the composer and was like, you have to expand the song because we're adding another character in to the credits. Then they like repeated a section of the song, and it's like very obvious that it like is just repeats 2
Alright.
seconds of it. There you go.
Sugar, we need your
Yeah. They just need to re-sing the opening credits.
Yes.
with Garnet, Amethyst, Peridot, and Pearl and Stephen.
Does it always have to be Pearl and Steven?
Yes.
What about
Garnet, Amethyst?
yeah, but
Pearl,
what if this is
Peridot?
like what if Peridot's the first of many people joining the Crystal Gems?
Uh,
Mm,
that's a lot.
Steven Universe becomes the Brady Bunch intro, and
Yeah, basically.
I mean, the hope would be Lapis, right? Because
I mean, they might not have to put her in the song. Like, she could just be there. Like, I really like the really funny edit of
could just be
Peridot
there,
laying there.
yeah,
like,
Peridot laying there during the intro, yeah.
That
So we
edit's
have to
so
resolve
good.
this, obviously. Okay.
Yes. It's
I mean,
important.
Connie's not really in the intro, but she's not a crystal gem.
yeah, they could just not
Yeah.
sing. They could just treat her
And
like
Greg's in
Connie.
the intro too.
Yeah, they could just treat her like Connie.
It'd be
and
really
Greg
funny if Peridot just like was swinging somewhere random in the intro, like
Mhm.
Peridot just being Peridot in the
Like,
background.
making her little noises.
That'd be great.
All right, let's talk more.
Like Peridot's like throwing stuff out of the van or something.
We have 7112, so 4 days before. Is it 7
That's
1? Is it
3
7152 in the present, or is it 7142 in the present? I think it's
7152 is the
yeah. So
present.
this is 4 days ago. 7112.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So Steven giving her the tape recorder. He wanted me to stop calling him the Steven. Yeah. I was wondering what happened with that, right? Peridot narrating everything, organic life forms, fascinating traits despite poor choices. Peridot's like, I wonder if they all can fly, which I feel like she would have resolved by seeing other things. Like, she just looked at one ladybug and then was like, all of them can fly.
No, I really enjoyed having to push.
Why is she going to assume that humans can fly? I don't know. I don't know if that's super logical, but okay. But she pushed. There is logic between it at least. And then she pushes Greg off the roof. Yeah, it's great.
So good.
What do you think of her meeting Greg? They're like, oh, I guess you're Peridot.
It's incredible.
I mean, that's why Peridot got shoved off to the shed when Connie came over, so we didn't have to awkwardly have her meet Connie and like spend time on that. So that still has to happen.
Yes.
What do you think Connie will think of Peridot?
I don't know.
Are they best friends?
They
No.
might be biffles. They could be.
Connie can but they're both like smart and logical, so maybe Connie can teach Peridot about everything.
Or like Peridot decides that Connie is the only one worth anything.
Yeah, Peridot she latches onto her kind of like.
I feel like that's what, and Connie's gonna be like, okay.
Yeah, that's what should happen. And then this was Garnet being patient with Peridot about. She's a lot to learn about our planet. And then permafusion, still not sold on Garnet. She did cleaning duties.
Incorrectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like kick her butt if she did that.
It was really funny, like scratching into. Like, really?
I would kick her butt.
I like how they just are like treating her normally, even though she's obviously
useless.
can't do anything.
then
just to get her out of the way for a little bit.
No, but then she finds like the alien boxer shorts.
Best part. This is my favorite part of the entire episode.
Appearance modifiers that aren't melded to your body. Yeah, and she's like,
that part is the best.
yeah. I guess this confirms that they can just put clothes on if they want. I mean, we know they can change their thing when they're reborn, but we don't do
Reborn.
We don't know if they can like change it in between that, right? Their look. So maybe this means they can, or maybe appearance modifiers just kick in upon whatever that's called, right?
I like her calling them appearance modifiers.
That's what she said in the thing. She said appearance
but like,
modifiers.
Okay.
That's what she said. That's what Peridot called.
I know that's what she said, but like, okay.
Yeah, and that's like the jokes from Too Far with and that's your butt. Right, like all of that. Calling the microwave and the TV stuff. More of that. 7122 talked about the stilts or whatever that.
The paint cans.
The paint cans. Flames make everything cooler. Wow, thanks. Yeah. The chicken joke. The TV campaigning hearts. Steven's like, my dad told me during certain stages of your life. Right?
So great.
Well, I feel like Steven should be more. Not that he'd be more comfortable with this, but like, I don't know. I feel like maybe Steven would discuss kissing in a different way, or maybe he's just uncomfortable teaching Peridot about it.
Maybe they were doing more than kissing.
Well, it was so funny when they were talking about like the fusion part where he like hesitated for a minute and was like, "Well, it's pretty good."
Yeah, a good fake show here. Pining Hearts.
It's Canadian.
Mm-hmm. This is their second fake show, I guess, not on Gravity Falls. Yeah,
yet. Prime reference, Breakfast Friends.
Oh, a lot more. Yeah, Little Butler was the main one. I was
Little Butler.
We talked about this. Yeah, the battle formation. I like how she's like it's subtext. Even where does she know what it's? How does she know what subtext is?
That's another reason why I was like, it's a slash ship.
Yeah, that's true. That seemed like an obvious reference. That's why they're objectively the best for each other, she says.
Objectively. That's so great.
Yeah, objectively, of course. And then it's like thumbs up.
Honestly, Peridot shipping is like if I were like a strong shipper, like that's how I would talk about it. They're like,
you would make like charts. And,
that's like me language, like making a list and then like these two are objectively the best. That'd be me.
She literally made a chart.
I mean, I relate to Peridot a lot, so yeah, more.
You are Peridot, okay.
Yeah. 7132. She's we had the stuff with Amethyst being the lion, shape shifting, hard to beat the original, and then she's like, Peridot. Like the lizard. That's what I thought of. I get the joke now. Pearl humor. Pearl really tries for some reason, and I can appreciate that. says Peridot.
Me too.
So great.
I can also appreciate that.
Pearl
Opal
makes like cute faces in this one.
Yes.
I do like that's really cute though that Pearl's like trying to like relate to that, like even Pearl's sense of like Pearl's social conventions are like primitive enough that she can like try to like suck up to Peridot, who's like obviously being like not funny and stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's like even
Aw.
Pearl's awkward enough too that yeah,
It's so great.
she feels like that. Opal putting the drill on the top. They can see the homeworld's galaxy from there. Interesting. I feel like if we do an thing analysis of this, then we can determine the potential range for like visible stars. Except, what if it's not in our galaxy, right? If this is alternate Earth, Sam,
Yeah.
then it might not
Yes.
be our galaxy. So
I like how you have to say my name like Sam.
yeah,
Like that's the theory you came up with.
yeah, it's the theory, dude. It's canon. I'm like more confident than ever, by the way, after the last 2 episodes. They like actually, it's like nothing's been contradicted, and like a lot's been reinforced about our theory. So
What if we're right?
we're obviously right.
You know, there's confirmation on several points.
There's
That'd be
a lot
so
of-
funny. At least we got it like recorded.
I mean, we
so
know
that
this
we
is
can
not
say-
our version of Earth, like because the map's all different and stuff. Yeah, so at the very least, if you want to understand fusion, I can help you. Let's fuse. And then Peridot's like blushing.
Aw,
Yeah,
that's cute.
Lips out. So
you
it's
made an effort to understand, understand me. And she's like, I still don't get it. I am Percy and Pierre. Oh,
That was so good. Like,
It's
so
pretty great.
great.
Well, how did Garnet hear about this? Was she?
No, she was there.
She was there for the
Like
entire
it was
time.
Steven and Garnet, and that's why at the end Garnet like has thumbs up because she approves, and Steven's like, I hate you.
It's good.
Thumbs up. That's
So-
we should get that picture and just make it our new Skype icon.
Okay, you can do that
Agree.
instead of of
Yep.
your current one. Yeah. Instead, I gained a better understanding of Garnet. Give it back to Peridot now. Thumbs up. Yeah. There you go. So, okay, 2 things to do before we end. One, we're gonna rank the 5 episodes of the Stephen Bomb.
Oh. Why couldn't you have prepared us for this? Why?
Okay, you should know me by now that I'm gonna make you rank the 5
Well,
episodes. or
every time I hope it's not real, and then
Okay, I'll start off with the potential ranking. So there's no obvious best one, unlike other Stephen bombs. Like I think the answer, it could have been great, message received, and log date are all like pretty good episodes. Like the show is like very good. I mean, like it wasn't the last Stephen bomb was at like I feel like a somewhat low point of SU for me, and now we're like back up to top tier quality. I feel like Steven's birthday is 5, and I feel like the answer is 1. So I'm gonna go answer. Log date, it could have been great. Message received, Steven's birthday. There you go. Sam, rank the 5.
Ah, jeez Louise. Okay, so Steven's birthday is number 5.
Okay.
Number 4. So I keep getting a message received and could have been great confused.
They're distinctive.
Yeah, but I keep getting them confused.
I mean, they're 2 parts, so.
Okay. I'm gonna put. This is hard. Maybe I'll put message received at 4. Could have been great 3. The answer 2 and the log date 1.
Log date 1.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense for your taste.
Thank you.
I mean, I put log date at 2, so yeah, I really like that. Delaney, what would your rankings go?
oh man,
Number 1, go.
Oh,
Number
it's
1.
so hard. I'm really like I'm split between like I agree with both of y'all's rankings, and I'm just like I don't know how I want
No,
mine.
only one can be right. There's an objectively
no,
correct
there's not.
ranking.
That's-
It's much
oh my
like there's
God.
an objectively correct pairing.
Okay, number 1, the answer.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2, the logbook,
Log
whatever
date.
the name of this
Okay.
episode is.
Yeah.
Yeah, log date.
Number 3.
Message received,
Okay.
and then it could have been great, and Steven's birthday.
Okay. Interesting. None of us have either of the 2 parts of the mid-season finale at 1. Tell us your rankings. Comment on YouTube or send us asks on Tumblr or comment on the website. There you go. Our website, overlyanimated.com. So last thing is like, when is the show coming back? And the short answer is question mark.
Never.
So
Never.
let's read what
Got canceled.
Let's read what Matt Burnett has to say on Twitter about this, who I was earlier talking about Magic the Gathering with, and
He's your
he retweeted me. So
new BFF.
story editor Matt Burnett on Steven Universe.
Wow.
And while the crew can't say anything about SU's upcoming air dates yet, I'm personally very happy with the plan and think that you will be too. Okay, interesting. He earlier quoted a post from Joe Johnston on Johnston, excuse me, on Tumblr. He's like, we can't do bombs and regular airings at once, but we don't control it. The crew doesn't decide this, so don't take what they say like as it's they don't know. The interesting about Joe Johnston's ask was that it seemed like they had less episodes in backlog than you might imagine. Like I kind of envisioned them as having at least 10 done and ready to air at all times because of the way Cartoon Network airs the show, and he was like, no, maybe not. But from Matt Burnett's tweet, it kind of seems like we're going to go weekly again pretty soon, which is what I assumed. I thought we'd be going weekly next week, but we're probably past that point. But that being said, like the TV listings go out 2 weeks, but Cartoon Network like really does not set their schedule until a week before, so you can't tell. But I assume soon we will be seeing the next episode, which we don't know the name of yet. But
I thought we did.
No, we don't.
Maybe. I thought we knew the names of everything.
Well, so the recent development this week is that these are all, or Ian, what's his face? Yeah.
Ian Jones Quarterly.
Ian Jones Quarterly. It's a long name. Said on Twitter, I think that these were just placeholder names. So these could be, so the ones we watched could have been the ones that got released. Is like, this happened for Avatar sometimes. Like Nick like put one in listings that was just an early version of the episode title, but they changed it since. So like, the interesting part is Beta Part 1, Earthlings Part 2, Back to the Moon Part 3, which seems like the 3-part finale of the season. I assume, but they might not be those names, right? So it could be different.
Sure.
We had one that seemed like it would be coming up based off of the leak, but I don't.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out which one it was.
I have no knowledge of
the leak.
The leak.
Anyway, lots of unresolved theories. We're not going to talk about them now. I think we'll maybe have an intermediary podcast. Like, there's a lot of debate between, is Rose Pink Diamond? Whose Pearl is Pearl? Like
that thing that's happening in England.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really care that much about talking about that.
I care deeply, not really. I care about the issue.
I mean, I care about the issue, but this is.
I don't really feel like talking about it.
Yeah, I don't feel like talking about it either. Yeah, what Sam said. Obviously, it's like.
There's not really anything to talk about. It's just like they suck. Moving on.
It's like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Lots of speculation coming up. I mean, we just had the maybe the answer 3 of the most informative episodes about the show's mythology. So we'll see what happens and where they go from here, and more importantly, when we're going to see Lapis again, because Lapis is the best.
That's all Dylan cares about.
That's like all I care about. Yeah.
That's all Dylan cares about.
When's Lapis? When is the Bay going to be back? That is the question.
I don't know how I feel that like not all gems are like their own gem. I mean, there's multiple gems.
Yeah, now we've seen that twice. Yeah.
And like I feel like that makes me feel sad.
Are there multiple Lapises? Are there multiple? I mean, there's multiple amethysts, but
also I don't know if you guys mentioned it yesterday, but I like how they're like organized by like cut and what's the other thing?
Yeah,
that is. I said that.
Yeah,
see, Sam gets me.
I'm glad. Cut and what other thing that goes into
They used a word multiple times, but
facet.
Yeah. Yep. They keep using facet. They used it to divide the Earth up, and I used it again in Peridot's designation.
Because I talked about it when we were talking about the Moon episode. Was that whatever they? Oh my God, it could have been great. Was that like this is like a like this has to do with gems, and it's interesting.
That's how jewelry works.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
We got a lot of We got a lot of asks to Joe Johnston on. There's like one about why do the gems speak English, and like his answer.
Yeah, why do the gems?
And his answer was, in Russia, why do they speak? If this airs in Russia, why do they speak Russian? And I'm like super unsatisfied with that answer.
I'm like,
I'm worried now because that is not a satisfying answer.
I mean, I mean, the only way for this to be okay was that if we'd get some sort of like the TARDIS answer.
No. The TARDIS answer makes complete sense. Like,
no, it does, but I'm saying that's the only thing they're gonna do. And like,
the question is like, why is like Steven, Steven is here and he sees them. Like last episode we saw Peridot talking to a gem on Homeworld, and they're talking in English to each other. And Steven was there and heard it as English. So, like, to me, you can justify as, okay, the gems can understand and speak any language. But, like, Peridot should be speaking a foreign language to the one on Homeworld, right?
Unless they're probably, it's, if there's any explanation, it's going to be, what I mean by it's going to be the TARDIS thing. It's going to be like, there's something that has to do with their projections, or like how their bodies are, and how like it like automatically translates.
So Steven could just hear it as English because that's what he knows. But that doesn't make a lot of sense. But that being said, remember, Steven is a gem, so it's possible Steven has built-in translation enabled.
Yeah.
So like we have to have
Please.
Connie hearing that discussion.
It's like it's kind of the opposite of how the TARDIS doesn't translate Gallifreyan, because why would it need to?
Interesting. Okay. Food for thought there. Yeah, I was talking to someone on YouTube about that. You can comment on YouTube if you're watching on this video. Cool.
Sure.
Last thoughts on this episode.
Precious.
We'll be back to cover SE the next time it airs, but we might have a theories podcast in the middle because there's so much to talk about.
Is there anything worth more on Earth than peace and love? No.
Yeah, dude. That's what Peridot and Steven asked in Wednesday's episode.
They got it.
Yeah.
There's nothing worth more.
Overlyanimated.com. Support us on patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to our current patrons. Shane, did I do this already?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Shayna, Mitch, Cordell, Beatrice, Nate, Andy, Jamie, and Rachel, aka Hey Nephew, Mitch, Cordell, University, Beatrix, Strange, Buzz Like Your Mailman, and Rachel Rose. Cool. Upcoming.
Are you sick? Are you okay?
We actually do have a SU podcast coming up with me and new contributor
Justin
discussing
our intern
Steven and Connie, because he wrote an interesting article on that. But that's not going to be talking
our
about
intern.
So there you go. So that's tomorrow, and we also have, or not, the Sunday we have Ruby and Ladybug podcasts, and then we'll see after that. Cool.
Meh.
Thanks for listening, guys. We will see you next time.
No, you're welcome. Bye.
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 Bye.